Hello Pharma guys, welcome to our channel Easy Learn Pharma. So today I am going to discuss about a new chapter that's name is Pharmaceutical Packaging, or you can say packaging of pharmaceuticals. Clear? So before going to the chapter, so first of all you should know that the pharmaceutical packaging or packaging of pharmaceuticals are the most important parameter in the pharmaceutical field. Clear? And also you should know that this chapter is completely based on the liquid dosage form. This chapter is completely based on the liquid dosage form. So that means what? That means according to the liquid dosage form, okay, that means which type of materials you have to use for the packaging of liquid product, or you can say which type of materials you have to use for the packaging of liquid dosage form. So simply in this chapter, I will discuss regarding the definition of the packaging and what are the materials are used for the packaging of liquid dosage form. Clear? So now come to the point. So what do you mean by packaging? Okay. So what do you mean by packaging? Now simply you can say the completely sealed each and every side of the product. Okay. So what do you mean by packaging? In a simple way, completely, okay, completely sealed, completely sealed each and every side of the product. Okay, so in that time you can say yes, that is the complete packaging of the product. So suppose this one is the product, okay, this one is the product, and these are the sides of the product. A product is on a side. So when you have to package each and every side of the product, in that time you can say yes, that is the completely packaged of the product. Okay. So the another point is, so what is the importance of the packaging? So why you have to package the pharmaceutical product after manufacturing? What is the reason behind this? So first of all, tell me why we are wearing the dress. Okay. So the first point is to protect yourself, to protect yourself from the environment, to protect yourself from the environment. Okay, and the another point is to shows the attractiveness or to showing the beautifulness, to showing the beautifulness or attractiveness. Okay, so in that case, that's why we are wearing the dress. Okay, as same as in the packaging of pharmaceutical dosage form. So why we are packaged the pharmaceutical dosage form as same as to protect the drug molecules, to protect the drugs molecules of the product from the environment, from the environment. Okay, so why you have to package the pharmaceutical product? And to protect the drugs molecules of the product from the environment. So which type of protect you have to, so which type of protect you have to protect from the environment? And the first point is to prevent contamination, to prevent contamination, degradation. Okay, to protect the contamination and degradation. So that's why you have to package the pharmaceutical product. Okay, so first thing is to protect the drugs molecules of the product from the environment and to protect or to prevent the contamination or degradation. In a simple way, if you are not packaged, okay, if you are not packaged any type of dosage form, so what will be happen? So container you have to place some liquid dosage form and you can seal, okay, and or you can package the such type of dosage form. So definitely after some time it will be marked some microbial growth inside the container or some microbes are growth inside the container. So why? Because it comes in contact with the air. Okay, so when the product comes in contact with the air, and definitely after some time all the product of liquid dosage form may be contaminated or maybe degraded. Okay, so that's why to prevent the contamination, to prevent the degradation, and to protect the drugs molecule from the environment, you have to package the pharmaceutical product. So that's why the product reach to the suitable customer in the suitable time. So that is called known as proper packaging. Okay. So what is the definition of the pharmaceutical packaging? It is the art or science. It is the art or science of different dosage forms, which deals with safe transportation, safe transportation, proper storage to protect the drugs of the product from the contamination, degradation, and enhanced the stability of the product for reach to the suitable customer in desirable condition or in suitable time. So that is called known as proper packaging of pharmaceuticals. Clear? Simply you can say the pharmaceutical packaging, it is the art or science of the different dosage form which deals with safe transportation to protect the drugs from the contamination, degradation, and enhance the stability for reaching to the suitable customer in the desirable condition in the suitable time. So that's why you have to package the pharmaceutical product in the pharmaceutical field. Clear? And next part is different types. Next part is different types of packaging. Okay. In the first part, already I have told you this chapter is completely based on the liquid dosage form. Okay. So according to the liquid dosage form, the packaging is divided into three types. One is primary packaging. Second one is secondary packaging. And third one is tertiary packaging. Okay, that means you have to package. Okay, that means which type of materials you have to use for the packaging of liquid dosage form. So according to the materials, again it will be classified into three types. One is primary packaging, second one is the secondary packaging, third one is the tertiary packaging. Okay, so I'm giving one example so that you can easily understand what are the different types of packaging. Okay, suppose you have to package the simple syrup, or suppose you have to package the paracetamol syrup. Okay, okay, listen carefully. I'm giving one example. Suppose you have to package the paracetamol syrup, and this one is the paracetamol syrup. Okay, so when after preparation, okay, after preparation in the laboratory, the paracetamol syrup, you have to place or you have to pour in a container. Okay, so after preparation, the paracetamol syrup, you have to pour the product in the container, and that container enclosed or envelopes the product first time. Okay, so when the product enclosed inside the container, so that is the primary packaging. So what do you mean by primary packaging? Now primary packaging is the material. So this one is the primary packaging, because the primary packaging is the material that envelops or that enclosed our drug or our product. ये कौन कला? Now first जेतବେଳେ ଆମେ ଦେଖିଲେ, suppose this one is the preparation of paracetamol syrup. So after preparation of paracetamol syrup, you have to pour in this container, and in that time the material or that container enclosed our drug and hold it. Okay, that's why it is the primary packaging. So when the product comes in contact with the first container or first material, that material is called known as the container. Okay, in this container first you have to pour the paracetamol syrup, and this one is the primary packaging. Okay, after preparation of paracetamol syrup, you have to pour it, okay, in the container, and this one is the primary packaging. Clear? And second one is secondary packaging. So what do you mean by secondary packaging? Okay, so what do you mean by secondary packaging? Listen, and this one is the container, and that container enclosed or envelopes our product of paracetamol syrup, Okay, then after sealed the container, again you have to placed in a carton. Okay, again you have to place the container in a carton. So this one is the secondary packaging. So what do you mean by secondary packaging? The secondary packaging is the outside of the primary packaging. Clear? And this one is the primary packaging. And what do you mean by secondary packaging? The secondary packaging is the outside of the primary packaging. So when you have to package the outside of the primary packaging by using some cartoons, and this one is the secondary packaging. Clear? This one is the secondary packaging. Okay, and next one is the tertiary packaging. So what do you mean by tertiary packaging? Now when 100 numbers of cartoons, okay, when 100 numbers of cartoons of paracetamol syrup you have to place in a box. Okay, you have to place in a box, and that is called known as tertiary packaging. Okay, so when 100 numbers of container or when 100 numbers of cartoons you have to place in a big box, in a big box, in that time you have to say that is the tertiary packaging. So what do you mean by tertiary packaging? The tertiary bulk handling and shipping. Okay, bulk handling means now when you have to 100 numbers of cartoon paracetamol syrup you have to place in a big box. So that is called known as tertiary packaging. Here, what do you mean by primary packaging? What do you mean by secondary packaging? And what do you mean by tertiary packaging? Here, this one is the primary packaging, this one is the secondary packaging, and this one is the tertiary packaging. Okay, so now come to the point. What is the components? What is the components of packaging? Okay, that means what are the components? That means what are the components you have to use for the packaging of liquid dosage form? So what are the components? So first of all, listen, see, this one is the container, and in this container you have to pour the simple syrup or you have to pour the paracetamol syrup. That's why that is the primary packaging. So in that case you have to use the container. So the first components of the packaging, container. Okay, and the second one is after pour the paracetamol syrup in the container you have to seed it, okay, by the help of cap. And the second part is cap. So what is the use of the cap? Now it is used for seed the container. So what is the use of the container? Now it is envelopes or hold the product. Okay, next one is secondary packaging, that is the cartoons. Okay, third components is cartoons. Okay, so that is used for packaging of outside of the primary packaging. Okay, that is the secondary packaging. Okay, so that is the cartoons, and last one is box. Okay, these are the number of cartoons having in paracetamol syrup container. Okay, so this one is the box. This is the tertiary packaging. So you can say simply. So what are the components of packaging? You can say C3B. That C3B means C for container, C for cap, C for cartoon, B for box. Clear? And now come to the point. Easily find out to packaging the pharmaceutical product of liquid dosage form or to packaging the liquid dosage form, we have to take some container. Okay, so what are the characteristics or what are the properties of the container? Okay, so what are the advantages of this container? That means so many types of containers are there. So which type of container you have to choose for the best packaging of the liquid dosage form? So that's why what are the properties are there or what are the characteristics are there. So according to the characteristics or according to the properties, you have to choose the best container for the packaging of pharmaceutical liquid dosage form. Okay, so what are the properties are there or which type of properties having in the container? So the first properties is it is or it should be, okay, it should be sufficient it should be sufficient strong. If the container breakage, if the container are breaking during the transportation, okay, during the transportation, if the container are breaking, so definitely in that time loss of drug. Okay, so to prevent the loss of drug during the transportation, you have to choose the strong quality of the container. Clear? And second point is, it should be inert. It should be inert. So what do you mean by inert? That means those containers you have to choose for the packaging of liquid dosage form. So such type of containers are not, or such type of containers do not react with the other ingredients. Okay, suppose this one is the container. Okay, and in this container you have to pour the paracetamol syrup. Okay, so after pour the paracetamol syrup, if the paracetamol syrup product react with the container, so can you take the paracetamol syrup? No, because it is harmful for us. Okay, and simple thing, suppose this one is the container. Okay, and you have to pour the water. If the water molecules react to the container, so can you take the water? No, because it is harmful for us after reaction. Okay, so that's why such type of containers you have to choose, and that container should be inert. That means that containers do not react with the other ingredients or do not react with the main product. So that's why you have to choose for best packaging. Okay, and next point is it doesn't allow the loss and leakage. That means those containers you have to choose for the packaging of liquid dosage form. That container should be clearly, or that container should be maintained properly. Otherwise, if the containers are breakage or if the containers are leakage, and definitely in that time it lost the product. So that's why it does not allow the loss and leakage. Clear? And next point is, it should be it should be light resistance. It should be light resistance. That means those containers you have to use for the packaging of liquid dosage form, that container should be maintained, or that container should be light resistance. So what is the importance of the light resistance? Because if you are choose some normal containers and you have to pour the paracetamol syrup or some liquid dosage form in the normal container, so what will happen? So okay, so when the container come in contact with the UV rays or sunlight, in that time inside the container, it leads to the photosensitive. Okay, so if that is the normal container, okay, and you have to pour the paracetamol syrup, so when the container come in contact with the sunlight, or you can say UV rays. Okay, so when the product or when the container comes in contact with the sunlight, in that time inside the container the photosensitive will be occur due to UV rays. Okay, so to protect the photosensitive or to protect the UV rays, you have to choose the amber color bottle or the amber color container for packaging the liquid form, and that amber color container resistance to the UV rays. Okay, that's why inside the container it does not allow to create the photosensitive. Okay, next point is surface. Okay, next point is the container should be clear surface. Okay, for proper labeling. So if the containers are not clear surface, so in that time you can't label properly. So simply each जगह देखो यार surface देखो labeling proper way रही छी. So how? Now because the surface are properly clean, Okay, so that's why all the container or those container you have to choose for the packaging of liquid dosage form. In that time, you have to choose the clean or plain surface. Okay, plain surface. So that's why according to the plain surface, you can easily stick the labeling or you can easily attach the labeling on the surface of the container. Okay, so that is the characteristics or the properties of the container, and such type of characteristics or such type of properties you have to mark before taking the packaging of liquid waste form. So according to the properties of the container, you have to choose the best container for the packaging of liquid waste form. Different types of container. Next one is different types of container. Okay, so all of you mark in the market, so many different types of containers are used for the packaging of liquid waste form. So what are there? Okay, so according to the so many types, it will be completely segmented in the different ways. Okay, so first one is single dose container. Okay, and second one is multi dose container, and third one is well closed container, and fourth one is airtight container. Next one is hermetically sealed container. Okay, next one is light resistance container. Okay, and next one is aerosol container, and finally last one is child resistance container. Okay, so there are so many different types of containers are used for packaging the liquid dosage form. So first one is single dosage form. Sorry, first one is the single dose container. Next one is the multi dose container. Next one is well closed container. Next one is airtight container. Next one is hermetically sealed container. The next one is light resistance container. The next one is aerosol container, and the last one is child resistance container. So what are there? So first one is single dose container. So definitely, so when you have to mark to the name of the single dose container, so according to the name of the single dose container, you can easily understand. So such type of container are used to supply. Okay, such type of containers are used to supply only single dose to the patient. Okay, so such type of containers are used to supply only single dose to the patient. So that means that containers having the single dose. Okay, so after taking the single dose, it is not useful for us. Okay, ଥରେ ଏଇ ଡୋଜ୍ ନେଇ ସାରିଲା ପରେ ଆମେ ତାକୁ ବାହାରକୁ ଫିଙ୍ଗିଦବା. So such type of containers is called known as single dose container. As for example, that is the best example is ampules. Okay, ସମସ୍ତେ ଜାଣିଛ କି ସମସ୍ତେ ଟିଟି ମଧ୍ୟ ନେଇଛ. ଓକେ, ସୋ ଟିଟି ନେଇ ସାରିଲା ପରେ ବା ତମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଟିଟି ନଉଛି ସେ କ'ଣ କରୁଛି ନା ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ସେ ଟିଟି ମାନେ ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ସେ ଟିଟିଟାକୁ ବା ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ସେ ଇଞ୍ଜେକ୍ସନକୁ ସେ କମ୍ପ୍ଲିଟଲି କ'ଣ କରୁଛି ନା ବ୍ରେକ୍ କରୁଛି. ବ୍ରେକ୍ କରିସାରିଲା ପରେ ସେ ମାନେ ତା ଭିତରୁ ସଲ୍ୟୁସନକୁ ଡ୍ର କରୁଛି. ଦେନ୍ ୟୁ ହାଭ୍ ଟୁ କ'ଣ ଇନସର୍ଟ. Okay, so after insert or after administration the single dose will be କ'ଣ na thrown outside. So bahar ki taraf pakai doge. So that is the ampule, and that ampules is coming under the single dose container. That means such type of containers are used to supply the only single dose. Okay, after taking the single dose, such type of containers are not useful for us. हम काम नहीं आसो ना हमें ताको बाहर उठी दबा. So example, ampoules जोटा हमें कहते टीटी टीटी जो हमें नौचे हमें ताको फर्स्ट ब्रेक करूचे माने हमें ताको भांगुचे भांगी से फिर हमें सैंपल को ड्रॉ करूचे सैंपल ड्रॉ कर साला पर हमें सैंपल को ड्रॉ कर साला हमें ताको प्रॉपर्ली बाहर को हमें ताको फिंगी दौचे. Okay, because it is not useful for us after taking the single dose. Clear? Next one is multi-dose. Okay, next one is multi-dose container. Yes, so according to this name, you can easily find out if such type of containers are used to supply the multi-dose to the patient. Okay, that means such type of containers having the multi-dose. So that's why you can easily administer in during the time intervals. Okay, that's why you can easily administer or that's why you can easily taking some samples or some dose from this container in the different time intervals. Okay, in different time intervals you can easily take some dose from this container. Why? Now because it is the multi-dose container and that containers having the multiple dose. Okay, you can take the multi-dose or you can take the dose in during the different time intervals. तमें different time intervals रे तमें बार sample नहीं परिवो. Okay, so that is called known as multi-dose container. As for example, that is vaccines vials. Okay, example होची vials. That is the vaccine vials. तमाने समस्त मार्क करथिबो vaccine वाला टाइम रे कोन हुए ना समाने से vaccine तमे जो कंटेनर थाए से कंटेनर टी completely rubber सील्ड हे थाए. ओके, तो समाने सैंपल ड्रॉ करंती फर्स्ट गोटे पेशेंट को दे देले देन से पेशेंट गला पर नेक्स्ट आउ गोटे पेशेंट आसे तो सेही जगह खाली सिरिंज ही चेंज हुए. ओके, नॉट द प्रोडक्ट syringe change हुए but that container having the multiple dose. So in that time that person or that nurse or that pharmacist draw the sample from this container till exhausted. जे पर्यंत न सरी जाई से पर्यंत से कंप्लीटली कौन कर दबो ना सैंपल ड्रॉ करके पेशेंट को देई चली थबो. व्हाई ना बिकॉज़ सच टाइप ऑफ कंटेनर्स हैविंग द मल्टीपल डोजिंग. क्लियर? एंड नेक्स्ट वन इज द well closed container. Okay, so what do you mean by well closed container? As for example, simple syrup container or as for example paracetamol syrup container. So what do you mean by well closed container? Well closed container means such type of containers are completely kind of packed or completely sealed in a well manner. Properly se kon heithibo na cap re seal heithibo. So that's why it is called known as well closed container. Next one is the airtight container. Okay, so what do you mean by airtight container? So according to the heading or according to the name of airtight container, you can easily find out or you can easily understand is such type of container to prevent the air, to prevent the dust particles, to prevent the moisture contents. तो माने एक कंटेनर टी जो कंटेनर such type of containers एक कंटेनर टी एम्प्टी वे तक बनाई छी. Okay, so that's or such type of containers are used to prevent the moisture, some dust particles and some air. Okay, जदि माने जदि हम एग्जांपल दबा से सेम वैक्सीन और वायरस रे एग्जांपल दबा वायरस रे वैक्सीन सॉरी वायरस रे एग्जांपल कोन होई छी ना से कंटेनर से कंप्लीटली रबर सील हे थाए. Okay, so हमें तले बार when you have to taking the dose during the different time intervals, in that time that product cannot or that products are doesn't come in contact with the air. Air contact आसिबो नाही. कोन पे ना why ना because such type of containers completely sealed with the rubber. So that is under the airtight container. Next one is the hermetically sealed container. So hermetically sealed container. So what do you mean by hermetically? Hermetically sealed container means such type of containers. Okay, such type of containers are sealed by applying the temperature or by applying the heat. Okay, तो माने ये empty गोटे container. Okay, okay, ये empty गोटे container जो container को आमे seal करिया पा use करूचे heat और temperature. Okay, that's why that's come as for example saline bottle. Okay, saline bottle मार्क करिवो से कंप्लीटली सबरे कोन ना सील्ड हेकी थिवो. ओके, तो ता बित आमे सेठी कोन करा ना आमे सेठी तो आमे से जगह आमे कोन करू ना आमे से जगह रे through the injection आमे ताको dip करूछु. Okay, so such type of containers are completely sealed by applying the temperature or by applying the heat. So that is under the hermetically sealed container. Last one is the light resistance container. Okay, so all of you know in the practical class in the laboratory those preparation or those liquid dosage form you have to prepare. Okay, in the laboratory in the practical class those liquid dosage, those liquid dosage form you have to prepare, and such type of liquid dosage form you have to pour or you have to pack in a suitable amber color container. So why you have to use the amber color container? Because such type of amber color container it avoids or it prevents the sunlight or it prevents the UV rays. Okay, so that is the light resistance container. Last time a question will be arise in the annual examination. Which type of containers you have to use for prevent the light? Okay, for prevent the light and to packing in the liquid dosage form. Clear? So which type of containers you have to use for packaging the liquid dosage form, and that should be prevent the light. So in that time the answer is amber color container. Okay, last one is sorry, next one is aerosol container, and such type of containers are used to enclose the aerosol. Okay, used to enclose the aerosol product. Okay, last one is child resistance container. So what do you mean by child resistance container? And such type of container, okay, such type of containers are only for the children. Why? Now the because the children because the children cannot open the such type of container. If the children open the such type of container, and definitely in that time it may be the child take some product, okay, or take some medicines. So that's why to prevent the children, okay, to prevent the children you have to use some child resistance container. तो आम एग्जांपल दबा देखियो मार्क करिबो बहुत किछि कंटेनर अछि जो कंटेनर हम जस्ट प्रेस करिबा और तो ओपन करिबा. अदरवाइज तमे ताको दी एंटी तो तमे ताको दी एंटी क्लॉकवाइज तमे ताको रोटेट माने करिबो. If we will rotate the anti-clockwise, such type of containers cannot be opened. Say open hoban. So when you have to push it, okay, when you have to push it, in that time it will be open. Okay, so in that time the children cannot understand whether it is pushed it or whether it is, you know, and I rotate the anti-clockwise. So definitely, so that is called known as child resistance containers. So to prevent the children, such type of containers are required to packaging the pharmaceutical products. Clear? So these are the different types of containers. So first one is single dose container, second one is multi dose container, third one is well closed container, next one is airtight container, next one is hermetically sealed container, next one is light resistance container, next one is aerosol container, and finally last one is child resistance container. Okay, such type of containers you have to use for packaging the liquid dosage form in the pharmaceutical field. Clear? Thank you very much.